In my home back in Italy, I became friends with this beautiful girl. She was the purest person I've ever seen. One peculiar part was that she would never ask me to come over. One day, I rang the doorbell on her step to share some of my mom's homemade kimchi. A small boy opened the door. He was screaming, "Kimchi, kimchi, kimchi!" And I was screaming inside, "She had a brother? Why would she hide this from me? Just because he's autistic?" So I called her right away and told her I don't mind her brother. And she seemed shocked at my acceptance. I vividly recalled the afternoon spent at their home, where the simple act of planning an outing, akin to a strategic mission, unfolded with meticulous care. Yet, there were instances of unbridled joy, the kind that only a brother's unique perspective could bring. This is a similar story about the challenges faced by the protagonist as she endeavors to bridge the gap between her brother's unique perspective and the expectations of the world. Let me bring you Rules by Cynthia Lord. Come on, David. Opening the front door, I sigh. My first day of summer vacation is nothing like I dreamed. I had imagined today warm with seagulls swinging across the blue sky, not overcast and damp. Umbrella? David asks, a far-off stare in his brown eyes. It's not raining. Come on, Mom said go to the car. David doesn't move. I get his favorite red umbrella. Okay, let's go. I stamp onto the front porch when David screams, "Let's go to the video store!" Not moving 1 inch. You're going to the clinic, but if you do a good job, that'll take you to the video store when he comes home. The video store is David's favorite place, better than the circus, the fair, or even the beach. Dado always invites me to come, but I say, no thanks. David will say loud enough for the whole store to hear, "Rated PG-13 for language and some violence." Crude humor. He'll keep reaching for boxes and flipping them over, not even seeing the looks people give us. But the hardest part is when David kneels in the aisle to see the back of a video box a complete stranger is holding in his hand. Dad says, "No one cares, Catherine. Don't be so sensitive." But he's wrong. People do care. Beside me, David checks his watch. "Dada said he'll pick me up at 5 o'clock. Well, maybe 5 o'clock, I say. Sometimes that's late. David shrieks, "5 o'clock!" Shh! I scanned the yards around us to see if anyone heard. And my stomach flips. A moving van is parked in front of the house next door, back wide open, half full of chairs and boxes. From inside the truck, two men appear, carrying a couch between them. My hands tremble. "Come on, David," Mom said, "go to the car. 5 o'clock, she says. The right answer would be maybe, but David only wants surefire answers. Yes, and no, and Wednesday at 2 o'clock, but never maybe, or it depends, or worst of all, I don't know. Next door, the mover set the couch on the driveway. "Okay," I say, "that'll pick you up at 5 o'clock. That's the rule." David leaps down the steps just as the moving men climb into the van. He might not understand some things, but David loves rules. I know I'm setting up a problem for later because Dad's always late. But I have rules too, and one of mine is sometimes you've got to work with what you've got. I take David's elbow to hurry him. Let's go past the fence and talk to those men. Remember the rule, if someone says hi, you say hi back. Down the walkway, I run through conversations possibilities in my head. But that one rule should be enough. There's only one question I need to ask. Then I can take David right to the car. Hi, I call, reaching the corner of the fence. The man turns around. Do you know when the family's coming? Is it today? If someone says hi, you say hi back, David yells. That's the rule. Both men stare past me with that familiar look. The wrinkled forehead look that means, what's wrong with that kid? I grab David's hands to stop his fingers. They're coming about 5 o'clock. That's what she said. 5 o'clock! David twists under my arm. My wrist chills from being curled backward. I grip my toes, my speakers, to hide the pain. Thanks! I pretend I can see my watch. Wow, look at the time. Sorry, gotta go. Chasing David to the car, I hear heavy footsteps on the van's metal ramp behind me. Dunk, dunk. David covers his ears with his hands. It's 5 o'clock. Let's go to the video store. My own hands squeeze two fists. Sometimes I wish someone would invent a pill so David would wake up one morning without autism, like someone waking up from a long coma, and he'd say, Geez, Catherine, where have you been? And he'd be a regular brother like everyone has, a brother who'd give back as much as he took, who I could joke with, even fight with, someone I could yell at and he yells back, and we keep going until we both yelled ourselves out. But there's no pill, and our quarrels fray instead of knots, always ending in him crying and me sorry for hurting him over something he can't help. Here's another rule. If you want to get away from someone, you can check your watch and say, sorry, gotta go. It doesn't always work, but sometimes it does. Sorry, gotta go? David asks, climbing into the car. That's right. I'll add it to your rules.